Let me ask you something. If a buyer looked at your books today, how confident are you that they'd see income they can count on next month and the month after that? Most business owners I meet with don't think twice about how predictable or unpredictable their revenue really is. They're focused on gross sales, not stability. But here's the truth. Unpredictable revenue makes your business riskier and less valuable. That means if you're relying on one-time projects, seasonal swings, or constant new sales to keep the lights on, you're leaving money on the table when it comes time to sell. So today, I'm going to walk through what recurring revenue actually is and why it matters so much to buyers. I'm going to talk about real world examples of how service businesses are using it to boost value and a couple practical strategies to start building it into your own business, even if you're not in tech. Okay, so in the value builder system that I use with clients, recurring revenue is one of the 8 key drivers of a valuable transferable business, right? We've been talking about the 8 key drivers for a few episodes now. We have a few more after this, so keep coming back if you want to hear them all. Now, why is this? It's because it reduces the risk for a potential buyer. It tells them customers are likely to stick around, cash flow is more predictable, there's less need for aggressive marketing just to stay afloat. And here's the big one. Predictable income means buyers are willing to pay a higher multiple on your earnings if you go to sell your business. So let me give you some examples beyond the usual software subscriptions. And when I say recurring revenue, most people immediately think software subscriptions. So that's why I mentioned that. And those are great, but even traditional service-based businesses can build recurring income. And that's where the real opportunity is for owners like you. So let's look at a few of these examples. CleanCo, I was your typical mid-sized industrial cleaning company. They worked with factories and manufacturing plants, mostly on a one-off project basis, cleaning up spills, doing deep cleans, that type of thing. The problem is the revenue was all over the place. Some months they were flush, others crickets. So planning for growth or investing in new equipment was a gamble, not knowing where revenue was going to come from next. So they pivoted and CleanCo started offering monthly subscription packages to their B2B clients. So weekly cleaning, preventative maintenance, and priority emergency response, all for a flat monthly fee. So for them, that meant more stable income, stronger client retention, and it also means if they go to sell, a more appealing valuation when buyers are looking at their business. At the end of the day, buyers love that model because it reduces the uncertainty and it's a lot easier to forecast into the future. Another example, Barber Surgeons Guild. So this was a typical, so a barbershop, but high-end men's grooming. Their model was built on individual appointments, right? So book your appointment to get your haircut, your shave. They were considered luxury services, but still it's a one and done revenue setup, right? People aren't necessarily coming in every 3 weeks or every week for a shave or whatever it is. But they introduced membership plans. So for a monthly fee, clients could get regular haircuts and beard trims, access to exclusive treatments, and suddenly revenue was a lot smoother. And also client loyalty skyrocketed, right? So not only is it more predictable cash flow for you as a business owner or for a buyer, but there's other benefits, like in this case, client loyalty. So from a valuation standpoint, predictable income or predictable revenue means higher buyer confidence, increased customer lifetime value, and having some clear data on customer retention trends. Another example, Farm Drop. So here's a more unexpected one. Farm Drop is an online marketplace connecting consumers to local farmers. Their income was seasonal with spikes around the holidays or farmer market events. They decided to test a subscription model. Customers could receive a weekly box of fresh local produce delivered to their door. So not only did it appeal to consumers looking for convenience, but it gave Farm Drop a baseline of predictable monthly income. So what's important here is that even in a traditionally seasonal business, they carved out a steady, dependable revenue stream. So hopefully these examples show you that recurring revenue isn't just about the industry that you're in, it's about your imagination, right? So if you can find a way to turn one-time customers into ongoing clients, you're not only smoothing your cash flow, you're building a more valuable business. So just a couple strategies you can use here. These aren't rocket science, but just to make sure we put it all out there, you don't have to reinvent the business, right? So one is just a subscription or retainer model. So package the services you're already doing or the consultations you're already doing into a monthly offering. So kind of think something along the lines of a marketing agency who's offering monthly content updates or an IT firm offering flat fee tech support. And then the other one is service contracts or maintenance plans, right? So Instead of a one-time sale, think about ongoing relationships. So, for example, an HVAC company offering annual maintenance packages. So, these aren't just good pricing strategies, they're good for increasing the value of your business, right? So, that's why this is one of the key drivers of a valuable business. So, the takeaway, if you want to sell your business for more and with less stress, you need to have predictable income, right? Recurring revenue not only smooths your cash flow while you're still running the business, but it also sends a strong signal to buyers this company is reliable. And did I mention it smooths cash flow for you while you're still in the business? I feel like when I'm talking about these drivers of building the value of your business, I'm not maybe focusing enough on how this benefits you too, right? Even if you don't want to sell the business, why would you not want more predictable revenue, less stress, more reliability, able to invest back into the business when you know cash flow is coming and where it's coming from? So a lot of huge benefits for recurring revenue. So I hope you found this episode helpful. In our next episode, we're going to be looking at another one of the 8 key drivers of business value, monopoly control. So hope to talk to you then. We'll tune in a couple of weeks. Take care, guys.